So these are the assembly instructions for my 3 boxes done 9 ways. My 3 boxes are pretty much the same, except they have different closures at the bottom. Then I have 3 different styles of openings for the 3 windows on my boxes. So I'm going to start with the rectangular opening, and this one has 4 tabs at the bottom. So I'm just going to fold down on all the score lines all along the box. So the only tricky score lines are the ones that are here on both semicircles, just at the base. So this is the outside of my box. I'm going to flip it over. This is Cricut foil acetate, and I'm just covering the opening with it. Here I have double-sided tape. I'm just putting double-sided tape all around the opening on all 4 sides. Then I'm peeling the liner off my double-sided tape. I'm positioning my foil acetate with the purple side downwards on my mat. My acetate is positioned in between those score lines. And then I'm going to flip my piece over. So now I'm looking at the outside of my box. I'm going to put a bead of glue on the underside of that frame and just glue it onto that opening on my box like so. Next, I'm going to flip my piece over, and I'm going to bring that first panel inwards and put glue all over that side tab. Then I'm folding over my last panel and just gluing it to my tab. So this is the top of my box, this is the bottom of my box. I'm going to start by folding down the 2 short tabs and putting glue all over them. So the piece that comes from the front has a score line and a curved tab, and the one from the back is just squared off. So I'm just going to fold the one that comes from the back. I want the edges of that piece to go right along the score lines of my tab. And then I'm putting glue all over the panel that I just folded down, and I'm putting glue on that end tab, so I'm putting the score line to the end. And I'm folding it over and then curving it down. And then I'm going to go into my bone folder, and I'm just spreading that glue with my bone folder. So for the top, I'm going to bring in the flap at the front, the flap at the back, and then I'm going to fold over one of the side tabs and insert my rounded pieces into the slit. And then I'm folding down the piece on my right and inserting those curved pieces. So the first one has that tab at the back. And so that's my first box done the first way. So the next version has the heart cut out, and it has no flap on that last panel. So just like the previous one, I'm folding down on all the score lines. So for this one, because those heart frames are so tiny, I'm going to put my acetate on first. So this is just a piece of Cricut clear acetate. I'm going to use glue. So I'm just putting glue all around my image, and then I'm laying my acetate within the score lines that are on that panel, so that they still fold up nicely. When I use glue with acetate, it takes quite a while for it to dry. I'm going to flip my piece, and I'm putting a tiny bead of glue all around my heart-shaped frame piece. And then I'm just applying those heart pieces over the opening, trying as best I can to get them to follow the edges of the cutout. And then I'm going to flip my piece over just like I did for the last one and put glue on that side tab. And then I'm bringing the other end over and just gluing it to the tab. So for this one, I'm going to bring down those 2 short tabs, and then I'm bringing that front tab over and then just tucking it into my box like so. So for the top, it's the same closing mechanism. I'm bringing over one side onto the 2 handle pieces, and then I'm bringing the other side over. Now for this one, I don't recommend putting anything too heavy in it because it's just being held in by the friction of the paper on the sides. So this is more for a very lightweight, small present. So on to the third one. So the third one has Mom for Mother's Day, and it has 4 tabs on the bottom, but it doesn't have that rounded off tab on the front panel. So I'm just folding down on all the score lines for it. And for this one, I'm using vellum. So I'm just putting glue on the underside of my image and just gluing it on top. And then I'm going to flip my piece over, and I'm putting glue. I'm going to stay with the larger parts of this image. I don't want to get any glue on the vellum because it'll show through. And then I'm putting glue all around the perimeter. So I'm just gluing my vellum between the score lines on top of that glue. And quickly flip this over and make sure that none of the glue shows. So now I'm looking at the inside of my box, and I'm putting glue on that side tab, folding the other end over to join the tab. So I'm looking at the bottom of my box again. I'm going to fold down the side tabs, those 2 short tabs, and then I'm putting glue all over those short tabs. Then I'm bringing the flap from the back towards the front, and I want the cut edges of that piece to be right along the score lines of my 2 tabs. And then I'm putting glue all over that final tab, folding it over and gluing it down. Again, I want the sides to be nice and even at the bottom. And I'm going in with my bone folder, and I'm just spreading that glue. So now I'm just closing my box, like so. So that's 3 boxes. My plan is to make 9 boxes with the 3 different images and the 3 different bottoms.